Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review, and I've slightly rotated the camera so you can see the bookshelf in the background. I usually kind of do that kind of angle more for my unboxing videos because you can see this little kind of shelf thing that I'm actually sitting on. But I thought I'd mix things up a little bit. Things I get a bit bored, so I'll move things around a little bit. Got my hat on as well because Jesus, I've been catching the sun a bit of late, and I've managed to kind of burn the top of my head, which doesn't. There's no way I'm going to show you. Anyway, I am doing this beer today, which is Saltaire Brewery, which is from up in Yorkshire, and this is the South Island. And I don't know if you can read that. It's a crisp New Zealand pale ale. 3.5% ABV. And this one is made, if it will focus, from Nelson Sauvin hops. Punching above their weight in flavour, clean, crisp, dry beer, fruitiness from those hops. Actually, let's see what else is in there. Barley and wheat, which is always good to see. And this one is in part out to my friend Matthew, who actually lives over in New Zealand. I thought he lived in Tonga for a while. And when we were growing up, because I've known him for absolutely years, we used to go to the same gym club, believe it or not, back when we were probably about 9 or 10 years old. No, actually, maybe before that. Yeah, we're probably before that, actually. Maybe 7 years old, something like that. Yeah, hey Matt, if you're watching this, and hopefully you will be, because I'm going to put it on Facebook. Yeah, let us know. I think we've known each other since 6 or 7, something like that. Jesus Christ, a long time. That's all I can say. My God, almost getting up for 40 years, dude. Can you believe that? Wow. Anyway, he lives in New Zealand, so I thought I'd drink this beer for him. The other reason is this is one of the beers I got from my boss from work, who gave me, he sent off for a collection of beers. Most of them were bottles. So usually if you see a bottled beer and it's not part of the Beer 52 kind of thing, it's probably because it's from one of his beers. Quite mellow, nice green, kind of greeny blue kind of thing, a bit like the sea kind of thing. And Saltaire, if you're thinking, oh, I know that name, you can get the blonde Saltaire beer in a lot of the supermarkets over here in the UK. Even though these guys are from Yorkshire and they are from Shipley, West Yorkshire. And when people hear Yorkshire, they all think, Northerners. But my family comes from Northumberland and Scotland. So I think those Yorkshire boys, they're a bit like Southerners. So yeah, you wouldn't usually think that, especially if you're in the UK. Even an SB on the top, and I like it when the caps. This one doesn't have a neck chief, but I like it when the neck chiefs, the caps, everything matches. Branding. Right, I am going to give this glass another go, and I am almost 100% sure there is no nucleation. So what the fuck is going on? It must be the shape of this bad boy glass. So, going to give it a go. This beer has been in the fridge, so it is very chilled. Look at that. No head at all. What is going on with this glass, man? Oh, okay, I'll force a head on here. Oh, my goodness, this glass is almost like the glass of doom. Look at that. A whole 500 into a pint jug. Okay, it's a schooner. There we go. Saltaire. Look at that. Hardly any head. Sometimes I can't get a 330 in this blooming glass. Fingernails head on that bad boy, and clear as the proverbial daisy. Now, for those of you that aren't a beer aficionados and hear Nelson Sauvin, they think, I've heard that somewhere before, and you have. Have you heard of Sauvignon Blanc? Of course you have, it's a wine. So this hop is kind of named after that wine because the aroma, the taste are very kind of wine-like, gooseberry-like, that kind of thing going on. And that's kind of what I'm getting. Sort of a vino, a gooseberry, a light kind of taste, a light aroma, I should say. I'm sure I'm going to get it in the taste as well. And this beer is only 3.5% ABV. So I wouldn't usually buy this because it's kind of a wasted beer in my opinion. Although these days, I was reading about this the other day. I really complain about having small cans and small bottles, and I like the bigger one. But it's a cultural thing in the UK. Pints are a culture. If you go to Belgium or Europe, you get what you get. It's not kind of, size isn't everything. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that wine. Man, that wine kind of taste. Then we're getting a little bit of breadiness from the malts, which kind of makes it different from a wine to, a beer. And of course, a wine is going to be 11, maybe even 12%, whereas this beer is 3.5%. So, yeah, a wine person could tell the difference purely based on the alcohol, but taste alone, especially if you've got it chilled quite down, like I've had this in the fridge for a day, it is very much like a wine, very, very watered down wine. If you had a non-alcoholic Sauvignon Blanc against this beer, I think most people would be hard pushed to tell the difference, and that is really weird. Okay, this one's malty as well, but you could argue that it's the sweetness. If you got a sweet wine as opposed to a dry white, which Sauvignon Blanc usually is, if you had a sweet one, I don't know, maybe that's a test to do. If anyone's up for that challenge, let me know. Otherwise, it's very watered down. Yes, I have to say that. Very watered down. Mouthfeel a little bit lacking, I have to say. Does it have any tasting notes on this bad boy? Not a sausage. I have actually been on the Saltaire website, and they do give tasting notes, but I can't remember exactly what it said. But it was basically that this was a very wine-like beer, which it is. It's not quite a lager, although you do get that sort of carbonation in the front of your mouth, which kind of gives that pale ale lager kind of. It's not a bitter beer, but it's like gives that kind of bitterness purely from the carbon dioxide that's infused into the beer. Be interesting to see because if you get carbon dioxide, if you get a water that's fizzy, either falsely so, like a false carbonation, or a naturally fizzy, it has a slight acidity to it because it's a very mild carbonic acid, because the carbon dioxide is kind of in the water mixed in. And until you open that bottle, the carbon dioxide is actually in the water itself. It's all mixed together. It's not fizzy in the bottle until you open it. So you do get some carbonic acid. So maybe that's adding to a little bit of that kind of bitterness, that acidity that you kind of get from these type of drinks. But it is very, very mild. Yeah, it's gooseberry. If you had a few of these in your fridge, you don't be surprised if you open your fridge and there's a baby in there, because as we well know, babies are found underneath gooseberry bushes. I have to say, even though it's 3.5, I think that's a very, very nice beer. And over or down under, should I say, um, in the South Island, because New Zealand has 2 islands. I think it's only 2. There might be a few more. I only found out not long ago that Japan has got like more than one island. It's like a group of islands, which is crazy. Same as Hawaii. Hawaii, there's about 20 islands all together. So you are definitely an islander. You have to rub noses and stick your tongue out and that kind of stuff if you're an islander. But that is a really, really nice, refreshing wine stroke beer. If you have a partner, if you're a man or if you're a lady, but if your partner likes wine and you like beer, why not try and get hold of one of these or another pale ale made with Nelson Sauvin hops. Let them try it, see what they make of it, because I've got a feeling that they will really like this kind of beer. Anyway, this has been Uncle Jonah surfing the sea of beer down on the South Island of New Zealand. Usually in those kind of canoes, perhaps with the outriggers and standing up like Mona and that kind of thing, with tattoos and all sorts of shit, like Jason Momoa. I'll be Jonna Momoa of the clan Momoa. Anyway, click like and subscribe. Join me next time while we go surfing the sea of beer once again. And hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Cheers and beers, guys. Oh, by the way, if you've got a question, please put it in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you pretty much straight away. Unless I'm at work or doing something, I will get back to you. Cheers, guys. We'll see you real soon.